Morning, how's it going? My advanced students and anyone else who is vaguely interested in these videos. I know there's a couple of people who are starting to watch them and enjoy them. One thing that a couple of people did say was, what was it? I wish I had a drum kit so I could actually play some of this stuff. Well, here's one that you can really work on. Okay, we've all heard of, hopefully, if you haven't, please do Google it or YouTube it, Moeller technique. Now, this gets very, very, very overly talked about, and you'll see loads of videos of people using really high arms and things like that. And of course, the premise of that is incredibly good and incredibly strong, but getting inside of it can take a long time. So what I suggest that you do is you look back on that if you're interested in this idea. So go onto YouTube. There's lots and lots of good stuff out there. But I want to give you a quick kind of brief, potted look at what I do with Moeller technique when I'm playing. First of all, just in a kind of straight day-to-day commercial beat sort of point of view. Now look, the main idea of Moeller, okay, is that you basically start with a low stroke. So you start low, and you see there I finished. The key to this is finishing with this distance above. I'm just going to move it around a tiny bit so you can see that. So basically we're going to come down. Do you see I end, I don't know, what's that, 3 or 4 inches above it? Don't get bogged down in it, but you need to stay there. What we don't want is that. That doesn't help you. You won't be able to do the stroke. You have to finish just above the hi-hat, okay? Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally bend my wrist. You see the stick hits it again on a different point, so the tip hits it. So it's edge, tip, edge, tip, edge, tip, edge, bend my wrist. Edge, bend my wrist. Edge, bend my wrist. Edge, bend my wrist. Now that's the first port of call. Get that natural. I know that probably looks easy, but I promise you it'll take you a little while if you've never done it before. It's a very natural way of playing. I mean, with all of these techniques, probably even if you've never studied it, in the end you get used to the idea of your hand doing this motion anyway, even if you haven't even thought about doing it. But if you've never done it before and you've been used to playing constant hi-hats, but don't get me wrong, sometimes constant hi-hats is what you want. Sounds great. Sometimes though, just to help aid in speed, when I say speed, what I mean by that is, if you think about it, if you do that, my arm is actually only ever going up and down once for every 2 hits. So you're allowing the small gears, your fingers, your wrists, you're allowing the smaller gears to do all the work. If I was to try and play these 2 notes with your whole arm, it's putting a lot of tension on your shoulder. Whereas if you're relaxed, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the first port of call. So that's what you want to do for a little while, maybe for every day. Every day for kind of 10-15 minutes. Just get used to that hand playing that. Keep it really slow. And when you get really confident with it, just put a simple rock groove, Billie Jean beat. Down, up, down, up. The key is keeping the stick that little distance above, 3 or 4 inches. And then when you lift your wrist, the stick, well, the tip of the stick kind of stays in a similar place. Even if your wrist, even if you're moving away slightly, still the tip will stay in the same place. The stick moves anywhere because naturally, the more you do it, you'll start to get a bit of a whip going. You'll see that whip motion. I'm ever so slightly moving all I'm doing is ever so slightly moving my hand and my arm towards the toms is probably a good way of visualising it. So there towards the toms, there towards the toms, and then that turns into, in the end, a circular motion. And I'm putting quite a lot of energy through the stick at the front. The energy is then transferred, so then the stick will then, see the stick kind of bounces naturally anyway, but if I raise my wrist, I'm able to time that bounce. Okay? Anyway, I hope that's useful. Spend a bit of time on it, a little bit every day. Start by just going up and down, and once you get confident with it, take it out to the side a bit and try and create a bit of a whip. Everyone's hands are a bit different. Find your own way of doing it. Find your own way of getting your hands to work for you. My hands are different to everyone else. I have to work on this. I work on it all the time. I have big problems a lot of the time with making sure that I don't get tense. I'm playing lots of different styles of music. For instance, yesterday I was trying to play. You know, I might do like a rock tune. Well, my version of a rock tune, and then I'm having to do a jazz thing. And it's really different techniques. So I have to watch when I do a lot of one style of music to try and keep my hands moving and natural when I'm doing. Then having to do styles of music that are completely different, using different kind of, well, different gears, I guess. So it's a really, really good, fun thing to do, and to just help you now at this stage, because if you think about it, you can do it gradually, a little bit every day. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force how quickly you get it together. Anyway, see you next time for the next little sort of tidbit. All right, all the best. Bye-bye.